Bulls fans, hold onto your seats. Chicago just dropped a bombshell that's shaking up the NBA. Mitchell Robinson, the high-flying, shot-blocking phenom, is bringing his talents to the Windy City. This isn't just a signing, it's a statement. The Bulls are back in the game, and they're playing for keeps. Want to know how this changes everything for your team? Stay tuned, because we're breaking it all down right now. The center of attention? It's all on Chicago. Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. The Chicago Bulls have just made a move that's sending shockwaves through the NBA. That's right, folks. Mitchell Robinson, the human highlight reel and rebounding machine, is taking his talents to the madhouse on Madison. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this for real? Well, let me tell you, it's as real as Michael Jordan's 6 rings. The Bulls front office has pulled off what many are calling the steal of the offseason, snagging the 7-foot center from the New York Knicks in a deal that's got everyone talking. But before we dive into what this means for our beloved Bulls, let's take a quick trip down memory lane and remind ourselves why Mitchell Robinson is such a big deal. Robinson burst onto the NBA scene back in 2018 as a raw but incredibly talented second-round pick for the Knicks. Standing at 7 feet tall with a wingspan that seems to stretch from Manhattan to Queens, Robinson quickly made a name for himself as a defensive powerhouse and a lob threat that would make any point guard salivate. In his time with the Knicks, Robinson has consistently ranked among the league leaders in blocks and field goal percentage. We're talking about a guy who once set an NBA record by making 19 consecutive field goals over 3 games. That's efficiency with a capital E, folks. But it's not just the numbers that make Robinson special. It's the energy he brings to the court. The way he can change the momentum of a game with a single thunderous dunk or a perfectly timed block. He's the kind of player that makes everyone around him better, and now he's bringing that X factor to Chicago. So, how did this blockbuster deal come about? Well, grab your detective hats, because we're about to do some sleuthing. Sources close to both teams say that negotiations had been ongoing for weeks, with the Bulls front office working tirelessly to bring Robinson to Chicago. The Knicks, facing some tough financial decisions and looking to reshape their roster, were eventually persuaded by an offer they couldn't refuse. While the exact details of the trade are still under wraps, early reports suggest that the Bulls gave up a combination of draft picks and young talent to secure Robinson's services. It's a bold move, but one that could pay dividends for years to come. Now, I can already hear some of you asking, but what about our current center rotation? It's a fair question, and one that leads us to our next point of discussion, how Mitchell Robinson fits into the Bulls lineup. Let's be real for a second. The Bulls have had their struggles in the frontcourt over the past few seasons. While Nikola Vucevic has been a solid presence, the team has lacked that true defensive anchor who can control the paint and ignite the fast break. Enter Mitchell Robinson. At just 25 years old, Robinson is entering his prime and brings a skill set that complements the Bulls' current roster perfectly. His ability to protect the rim will allow our perimeter defenders to be more aggressive, knowing they have a shot-blocking menace backing them up. But it's not just on defense where Robinson will make an impact. His elite defensive rebounding skills give the Bulls crucial second-chance opportunities, and his efficiency as a roll man in the pick-and-roll game is going to open up so many options for our guards. Can you imagine the lobs from Lonzo Ball to Robinson? Or the space that'll be created for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan when defenses have to account for Robinson's vertical threat? It's enough to make any Bulls fan giddy with excitement. But let's pump the brakes for a second and address the elephant in the room. Yes, Robinson has had his share of injury concerns over the past couple of seasons. It's a valid worry, and one that I'm sure the Bulls' medical staff will be keeping a close eye on. However, when you have the opportunity to add a talent like Robinson, sometimes you have to roll the dice. The potential upside far outweighs the risk, especially for a Bulls team that's been on the cusp of breaking through in the Eastern Conference. Now, let's talk about what this means for the rest of the roster. The addition of Robinson likely signals a shift in the Bulls' playing style. We could see a more up-tempo offense that takes advantage of Robinson's ability to run the floor and finish in transition. Defensively, expect to see more aggressive perimeter defense now that the Bulls have a true rim protector patrolling the paint. This could lead to more steals, more fast breaks, and ultimately, more exciting basketball for us fans. But the impact of this signing goes beyond just X's and O's. It sends a clear message to the rest of the league: the Chicago Bulls are all in. They're not content with being a middle-of-the-pack team. They want to compete for championships, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. Now, I know what some of you skeptics out there are thinking. Sure, Robinson is talented, but can he be the missing piece that puts the Bulls over the top? It's a fair question, and honestly, only time will tell. But let me throw some numbers at you that might change your mind. In his last fully healthy season, Robinson averaged nearly a double-double with 8.3 points and 8.6 rebounds per game. But it's his advanced stats that really tell the story. He posted a defensive box plus/minus of 2.4 and a block percentage of 7.1%, both of which would have led the Bulls last season by a wide margin. And let's not forget about his offensive impact. Robinson's offensive rebounding percentage of 14.8% was among the best in the league. To put that in perspective, he grabbed defensive rebounds at nearly twice the rate of any Bulls player last season. But stats only tell part of the story. What really has me excited, and what should have all of you Bulls fans pumped, is the culture fit. By all accounts, Robinson is a hard worker with a team-first mentality. He's the kind of player who does the dirty work, who's willing to sacrifice personal stats for team success. In many ways, he embodies the blue-collar spirit that Chicago has always embraced in its sports heroes. From the monsters of the Midway to the Jordan-era Bulls, this city has always loved players who bring grit, determination, and a never-say-die attitude to the game. Mitchell Robinson fits that mold perfectly, and I have a feeling he's going to become a fan favorite in no time. But what do you think, Bulls Nation? Are you as excited about this move as I am? Do you think Mitchell Robinson is the missing piece that can vault the Bulls into true contender status? Or do you have concerns about how he'll fit with the current roster? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Bulls news and analysis. This is your Chicago Insider, signing off. Until next time, keep believing in the Bulls, and remember the future is bright in the Windy City.